Assalamualaikum guys. So I have just come back from the hospital. Just a quick update on mother-in-law, so Amma. Alhamdulillah, Amma's doing well. She is recovering well and as best as she could do, I guess. I think you kind of reach a peak where you know that's going to be their new peak. Upon visiting, there was a few visitors there, which are immediate but external to Amma. I think it's a difficult one, you see. So some of you guys have obviously been on some of the lives, have been aware of the dynamics, etc. And it's not really something I want to go into the intricacy of in terms of slander, etc. However, I will say something, and there'll be just a few facts I'm just going to touch upon. One of them is when two people get married, a husband and wife, they become one. They become a unit of one. And that is in Islamically under Hadith regulations as well, so under the Sharia law. And this is why a father-in-law becomes a mahram to a daughter-in-law and vice versa, etc. Things like that. Anyways, the other aspects is for becomes afon and afon becomes for. As in, they say there is a saying blood is thicker than water, and I don't believe that. I don't actually buy it, because I tell you something, I'm not a blood relation to my mother-in-law, yet I would firmly say this, as a lot of people would back me up to say that I'm just a daughter-in-law by relation, but I will always be far more of a daughter than any of her own have ever been. Now, I can speak, and I wholeheartedly say it since I've been involved in the family, but more so in the last 3 years. I can't speak prior to that, obviously, because that's the relationship they've had with their parents, and it's not right for me to intervene on that. But currently, as it stands, at Amma's hardest times, I've been far more of a daughter. And I will say that proudly. So anybody take it however you want. I really, really don't care. The other thing is, when there is an elder present, as youngers, it's our job to, and there was another elder present there, so it's our job to uphold that respect in respecting that elder who is currently present in front of us. So that is to be amicable or mature. Mature is a big word here. Mature, and to show that elder there respect, and not to put them in any form of predicament where they feel uncomfortable, where they don't know what to do. And you can sense that body language speaks 1,000 words. However, unfortunately, some people, I think, are past understanding or maturing anything like, or understand maturity or anything like that, because I don't think cognitively they're able to. I think they just don't understand. I think they'll never understand until it's their time in that hospital bed or that medical acute unit where they are seeking medical intervention and they have nobody around them, even their own children or their offsprings or loved ones or their brothers, sisters. No one's going to be around them. They'll probably die alone, who knows? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how their death is wished, and how their death is willed. However, one thing I will say is, before you do anything, think wisely. Think wisely and act accordingly. There was an elder there present today, and there was no respect for that lady. I'll be completely blunt, black and white. There was no respect there, because the younger that was there, she has no filter in her mouth, because she clearly wasn't either taught it. That's wrong for me to say as well. However, like I said, I don't know what the dynamics was before. Or she was taught it, but she doesn't know how to uphold it because of where she's ended up in life. Now, I don't know. Again, that's her walk of life. I can't comment on. No, that's wrong for me to say. I can comment on it. I can make an assumption on it. But the facts she will only know. I won't know. What she's living in her four walls, I have no idea. That's something she will only know. But what she has portrayed across is how disrespectful and how much man and shikka tala face, and that says a lot. So, that's something that I wouldn't want my children picking up, and I would pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that everything that I can do in the right, my children pick up. If I do anything in the wrong, that I equally own up to it and say to my children, I've done wrong and I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have made. And we do. We openly do. Both my husband and I openly speak to our children. And that's the type of parents that we want to be. Now, given where Amma is, as sad as it is, there comes to equally a point where the level of care becomes intricate and the things are quite challenging. Now, as a daughter-in-law, I have no obligation at all, Islamically, to look after a mother-in-law or a father-in-law or anybody that isn't of my responsibility in accordance to the Islamic regulations and the Islamic laws. However, as a daughter-in-law in our culture, the saying, marzagat bairbo, that sort of cultural norm is gone. It's completely gone, because that's why these lot don't have respect. You can try and embed it, but they're just so far on in their age where they don't know anything past black, ABC, and I don't think they'll ever get to even XYZ. So that's just where they are. And unfortunately, I just happen to be that little seed that's just fallen into the wrong place. And I'll openly say it. However, my husband was cut from a completely different cloth. And I couldn't be more thankful for who he is. Because alhamdulillah, he's done well for himself. He's done well in life. But also he knows the values of the elders and the etiquettes of the elders and the mannerisms of the elders. So the question is, for a certain number of offsprings to grow up in one household but turn out yet so different, but 3 of them were quite similar, but yet so different, that goes to say the old saying that our parents used to say, which is Fasangul Shumanai, is very, very true. Should that have been the case, then I guess things would have been different. Anyhow, going back to Fasangul Shumana, I am one out of 6 siblings, of which we all have the same ethics embedded into us and we firmly stand by it. It's just how we portray it is different. We don't bicker with our elders. We don't bicker in the presence of our elders. We've still got Moy around. We've still got Khala around. These are territories that we wouldn't even raise our voice in front of, let alone undermine anybody, especially our Moy that was there. Never. We wouldn't talk. If we had our indifferences with somebody that was present, we would keep that indifferences out of sight of our elders. That's just maturity. And I think maturity speaks volumes, because once these people leave these surroundings talk, and they kind of just, you're kind of stuck in that predicament of professionalism, but then trying to maintain and kind of justify their reasonings as to why they act the way they do. Anyway, it is going without saying that it's sad. It is actually quite sad. It's sad because I'm the youngest out of 6 siblings, and as a baby of the family, at the same time, being emotionally attached to Amma has become a big thing. They couldn't even tell that she looked distressed, and I could. You become close to somebody once you start residing with somebody, once you start building a relationship with somebody. So that is where it is. And also to have your indifferences in the presence of a child, that's not mentally healthy, I think. And these people are supposedly nearly hitting 40s. So I think people need to really reevaluate life. But also, this video is just to show how much culture is dying down and how much respect for our elders is dying down. Visiting an elder once in a blue moon is not being present. Being present is being there for the hardest times they're possibly facing in their lives. Being present is being present when you know and your soul knows that they possibly don't have extremely long to live. But you don't want to admit to it, you don't want to agree to it. Being present is when you're taking on responsibility and accountability and making it your fetterbish, your stomach ache, to make sure that everything is done in the best interest of this person. And I think this is something that these guys really lack, and it's really sad, because I might not be her daughter, but I think I'm the closest thing to a daughter that she has. title of a daughter-in-law is gone, I'm much, much closer to a daughter than anyone will ever be. So take it as you will, but this is all factual, and facts speak for itself. So on that note, guys, all I will say to you guys is be humble. And for those that are in challenging situations with dynamics that are completely different to yours, just understand that we've been taught in a different manner, and we've been taught possibly, I'd say, more the right way. They can say all sorts about X, Y, and Z now, but you've got to question yourself why these people are in these situations. My situation that I'm in is because I didn't do as much for my mother as I possibly could have. So this was Allah's way of teaching me. And I've learned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I've learned. But that's my conversation between my creator and myself. But equally, I would always back up my husband no matter what, 100%. I don't care whether anybody likes me or hates me. I couldn't give two flying thingies, because at the end of the day, like I said, right now, the best interest is his mother, and she's the woman that birthed him. So without her, I wouldn't have had him. So I am thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything she's done for him. So I can only live up to my part. Anyways, guys, on that note, this has been quite a long update, but nonetheless. But yeah, I'm tired, and I think I just need some rest as well. But anyways, take care, guys. Allah Hafiz. Bye.